Hello, this is Dr. Nicholas Nicholson from Quinnipiac University. I'm currently an associate professor in the School of Nursing, and I'm here today to talk with you about social isolation and how it can make older adults vulnerable to so many things, including abuse, which can take on many different forms, including financial, emotional, physical, and sexual. Specifically, I'm going to cover what social isolation is and some of the negative health outcomes associated with it. I'm going to discuss how social isolation makes older adults more vulnerable. I'm going to discuss the connection between social isolation, which leads to vulnerability, and ultimately abuse. And then finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about some resources that I think will help. So, what is social isolation? I think social isolation is the distancing of an individual psychologically, physically, or both from his or her network of desired or needed relationships with other persons. Then there are lots of negative health consequences related to being socially isolated. Some of them include an increased risk of hospitalization, an increased risk of depressive symptoms, a decrease in the quality of life, a decrease in the cognitive function, poor sleep quality, and substance abuse. So how are social isolation and vulnerability connected? When you think about it, perhaps on that next phone call, there will be a friend, or a family member, or somebody who needs help. Alternatively, some people also wonder, who's thinking about me? Am I meaningful to other people? Do I matter? Do I have purpose? Do I belong? Being socially isolated leads to a longing for some type of connection. We're just waiting for that connection to call or email or whatever. But at the end of the day, we're all human. We all have needs. We need to feel connected, wanted, appreciated, and reassured that things are going to be okay. It's like the TV show Cheers, when they say, we're all looking for that place where everybody knows your name. We may be more willing to welcome in those people we don't really know because of the current situation. People who we would never allow in, people we wouldn't pick up the phone for or answer their emails to. And we may be accepting help from people that we don't know, people that we wouldn't normally accept help from. So, how does this lead to elder abuse? Those people who are abusive and prey on others know that they need to find vulnerable older adults. They know exactly what to do and what to look for. Normally, they need to work really hard at first to isolate people away from their friends, family, and others. But now, so much of that work is already done for them, it makes the abuser's job that much easier. And many of us now are reaching out more than ever. We're longing for that connection, and we're looking for those friendly visitor phone calls and emails. Everybody's in a heightened state because of the situation, and people are already so anxious just to begin with. And depending on where you're getting your news, the information you receive may not always be that accurate. And perpetrators of abuse are banking on the fact that people are more socially isolated now, and they're vulnerable, and they're looking for connections. So they provide that in some way, either false reassurance, a false need for help, or they put pressure on them, targeting that anxiety, and then the abuse begins. So, what can you do about it? One thing that I think is a great resource is to connect with AARP Fraud Watch, and you can do so by going online at www.aarp.org/Fraud Watch Network. There's a lot of great resources there that can help with understanding some of the things that you can do to prevent being a victim of fraud and abuse. Another thing that you can do, we're testing a new program that's designed to reduce social isolation among older adults, and it's called Zero Isolation. The program runs 6 weeks. It's 6 90-minute sessions, and it focuses on small group activities. The small groups are 6 to 8 people in size, with one facilitator and 2 volunteers that are connected with the group. So you may want to join the group and be in the program. You may want to become a facilitator and get trained to run a group, or you may want to pick up a smaller role and just be a volunteer and help out here and there. If you have any questions or if you're interested in participating, I encourage you to reach out to me at this phone number, 203-582-6542, or email me at nicholas.nicholson@quinnipiac.edu. Thanks very much for listening.